Okay, everyone, we are going to keep trucking today on the deck collection videos, and this is going to be part 2 of my mass market tarot deck, so buckle up. There's a lot to go through here, and I did manage to leave links below for, I'm pretty sure, every deck last time, but I'm gonna say it now. It's probably not happening. Certainly not for this one. I'll try, but it's so many links to get, so yeah, if there's anything specifically that you're like, oh wait, what was that, just let me know, and then I'll let you know what it is, but, you know, it takes a surprising amount of bandwidth to just find a link, you know, it's but that's probably a me thing. Anyway, let's get into it, because we've got lots to do. Starting out, Tarot of Curious Creatures. This was certainly, I know Andy has had this one and loved it, but this one I'm pretty sure was a Sandy made me do it. Once she got this one and was also just gushing about it, I was like, alright, I need to see what the deal is here, because all my friends are liking it, and a lot of people I watch and love like it. I need to know what the deal is. And exactly how everyone else describes this is exactly what it's like. It's got so much personality. The guidebook is so awesome. It brings in just really a unique personality for all of the characters in here. I think this is one that Dawn Michelle says that it's the deck she uses to kind of like pull her out of a funk, and that's exactly how it functions for me too. So I find I don't use this one tons, but when I know I am just kind of in a mood to just be in a mood, you know when that happens? This is the one I pull out to be like, hey, please cut that out. But I love it. It's fun and just silly and amazing. So, Tarot of Curious Creatures. Next, we've got the Marielle Tarot. Now, this is the second edition. A very lovely person gifted me their first edition, and then Andy and I were doing a study with it together, and she wanted to try the first edition, and I wanted to try the second edition, so we did a little swap, which was fun. But I like this deck. It's a lot. And so, it's not one that feels like something I can approach all of the time, because I tend to get into the guidebook, read it through once, and be like, what? Excuse me? And that could maybe be something to do with, look at how pretty that card is. It's such pretty artwork, that all of the symbolic references going on are not something I really know that much about as of now. But that's my goal for 2024. I've decided I'm entering my scholarly era. I'm just gonna become an intellect. So, but regardless, this is the first card I drew, and it comes up all the time, and I love it. I am really excited to kind of keep going further with this deck. I really do enjoy it when I use it, and it feels like it's got a very specific space it sits in. I've tend to been drawn to use it in a very like divine work kind of way. Look at that. It's so cool. So anyway, that's the Marielle Tarot. Ooh! Next up is a new absolute favorite. The Cozy Witch Tarot. I've been obsessed with this one. Especially for this season where just December, I always feel like I get tricked and bamboozled. because it starts to get cold around here, so I feel like I just naturally am like, oh yes, life is slowing down again. But then December is always just so full for everyone, isn't it? And so that's the space I'm in now, where it's like this it's all good stuff, but for me, having too much to do is just going to be an overwhelm, whether it's things I want to do or not. So I definitely feel myself in this space of overwhelm, and this deck has just been so nice to use within that, because it's, you know, I just think it's fantastic to begin with, but then you get the messages right on the bottom, so it's almost like it's a tarot and oracle in one, which I think is fabulous, and there is something so heartwarming about it. I love the color palette. Something about this particular shade of beige just does something in my brain, and I love it for that. I think it's fun, and it's a little sassy. Just fantastic. The cardstock's great. I have been loving this one. So, that is the Cozy Witch Tarot. This is the Guardian Angel Tarot by Radleigh Valentine. This one is unfortunately out of print, but I do feel like there's some other, like the Radleigh Valentine, certainly Radleigh Valentine Doreen Virtue decks are getting a revamp coming out just as Radleigh Valentine. Look at the backs. Oh, it's like your grandma's old deck. It's just the best. Now this is one that really sits in a space of, I am feeling too sensitive right now to be told anything bad. So this is one that it doesn't really come out often, because it has such that, it's a very specific feel to me of like, I really cannot take it today. And most of the time I don't find myself in that space, and if I am in that space, it's like I don't really want to be pulling cards per se, but I don't know, this is one of those where it's, when it's right, it is so right, and I couldn't imagine just not having it. And I'm hoping, oh, I didn't finish my thought from before. I feel like there's been a lot of Radleigh Valentine decks coming out lately, so hopefully maybe this one gets a revamp too. That would be so cool, because it is a really cool one, and again, it's got that like, where it's tarot, but kind of an oracle, and I love decks like that. So, Guardian Angel Tarot. Oh, I already feel myself getting in a better mood. I love looking at my decks. So sorry if you were like picking up on that overwhelmed energy before. I feel like I was like, oh, putting that on you all. So sorry. But 4 decks in and we are here. Okay. Next up, Ancestral Path Tarot. Not gonna lie, I got this one because, oh, this is the, wait, let me tell you about my plight. So I saw the backs somewhere and saw someone pair it with another deck where they like showed the backs, and it was the most perfect pairing of all time, and I have the oracle, but then as soon as I got this, I didn't remember what the oracle was. Isn't that horrendous? And I was in one of the groups, I feel like I want to say it's in the Supportive Tarot Facebook group, Lisa's. That's where I saw it. I don't know. So if anyone has this and pairs it and like the backs pair super well, let me know. Because I mean, the backs pairing does not matter to me, but it was like where I knew it was going to be a good deck pairing, so I really wanted to try it. But I don't remember it. Anyway, I really enjoy this deck. I like that it's oversized. I think the artwork is really beautiful. It's definitely, it's newer to me, so I don't know it super well, but I think it's really interesting. Do I have any more to really say on it? Not really. I don't know it super well. Look at, I love that as the Fool though, with the actual deck being what she's pulling from. I don't know that it sits actually in like a ancestral reading space for me, but I haven't really tried it out too much, so honestly, can I even say that? I don't know. I just like it. I even just like looking at it, like flipping through the images, and I think it's, look at that hermit. I just think it's fun how oversized the deck is. I love that moon card too. It's so pretty. So that is the Ancestral Path Tarot. Come on, you can get in your box. Okay, next up we've got the Gothic Tarot. Oh, what a good one. What a good one. I love this deck. And I decided this, so this usually comes out during the fall Samhain season, but it'll reappear probably again in January. But for all of last year, this really served as my vampire deck. But I realized this year in my use of it, it doesn't really feel actually vampire. It feels like gargoyles. And it reminds me, I mean, because there's lots of gargoyles as well, but it reminds me of the show Gargoyles, which I don't know when that's from. I just remember watching it, and I've watched it again recently, and it's so good. And that's what this deck reminds me of. It's just spooky and weird and kind of cheesy. I just think it's so great. I love it. And I really love the big guidebook you can get. I think you get it separately, but I have found that it's worth it. And actually, you know what I haven't tried? Because of having this one, I felt like I didn't need the Vampire Tarot, but then I got the Vampire Tarot again this year and loved both. And I never tried the both of them in a reading together, and wouldn't that be fun? I think these would work and look so cool together. Okay, we're gonna have to try that. So, the Gothic Tarot. I'm gonna have to try that. Mental note. Actually, I'm just gonna put it to the side, because we've got the Vampire Tarot somewhere in here too. But first, let's take a look at the Pastoral Tarot. Now this one is really beautiful. I love the backs. It is a landscape deck. And what are my thoughts? What are my thoughts here? I actually feel kind of unsure about this one, if I'm being real. There feels like a certain vibe to it that I'm just not, I don't know, I'm not sure about. And I don't really actually know how to put words to it. I just know that it's there, and it's confusing to me. Oh, but look at that Wheel of Fortune. But it is so beautiful, and it almost kind of makes me think of a lot of the cozy mysteries I've read. Look at that. So many of the cards are so beautiful. I think, you know, it's this card. I don't know about that one. I assume this is a baptism going on. And, like, I can view that in a different way, and, you know, that's fine. That's fine. But something about that, I just, like, really struck a chord when I saw it, when I was unboxing this the first time, that I was like, oh, what's that? But it is really beautiful. And if I am remembering, if my memory serves me correctly, I do feel like the guidebook was really good in this one. And I saw Thea using this one where, like, as a single card draw alongside her Hellenic Oracle, and I thought that was really cool. And I almost feel like with this landscape style, I think that confuses me too, because it doesn't look great visually when there's multiple of these on the table to me. Look at that. This is what I really need to spend some more time with. I think this is going to go in the, I really want to spend more time with this deck. At first I thought it was going to go more into that purgatory type pile I started, but I think it's going to go in the spend more time. So that is the Pastoral Tarot. I do love the bag I made for it. I mean, I went to the lengths of making this cute bag, right? Look how cute. With the butterflies. Yeah, okay, we're gonna do spend more time. Alright, this is the Darkwood Tarot. Love this one. This is definitely, to me, feels like a dark fairy tale type of deck. I really love using it, again, in the fall Samhain season, but also, like, come January. Because right now, I am in the, like, holly jolly, everything is great type of fairy tale mood. But then once the holidays are over, swift turn into, like, the original fairy tales where they're dark, they don't really end happy, it's more meant to, like, teach some sort of lesson. And that's where I feel like this deck falls, so she will be back come January, because I always seem to shift into that sort of mode, which is interesting. But I really like this deck. I think it's fun, I like the imagery. It definitely sits in a very specific slot in my collection. So that is the Darkwood Tarot. Next, we've got the Barbara Walker. Now this is an accidental thing I came upon, but this is that, I don't know if it's like the first edition or something, where it's slightly larger, and I don't know. I don't really know what the difference is. But I've been told that's what I got. But this is, I'm unsure. I'm unsure about this one. I think it feels a little overwhelming to me. But I like the keywords, and I think it's something worthwhile. Are the keywords, do they match up with the Thoth? Is that the thing? I don't know the Thoth, like, at all. Not even a little. But I like all the deities tied in here. I think it's overwhelming because it's just, there's so much happening, it feels like to me. But I don't know, I'm curious. I did get there's like a $3 ebook version of her book, I want to say. So I have that. So I feel like, again, this is one that maybe I just need to spend some more time with, but in all honesty, I don't want to. I never want to. So this one I just feel like right now has a permanent purgatory position because it's small, it's not taking up space. I don't mind just holding on to it because I don't know, it's such a classic that I feel like there is going to be a point when I want it and I want to take the time to learn it, and that's just not right now. But I don't want to get rid of it. Like, I don't know how to quite describe. It's just, there's a gut feeling I get where it's like, okay, I'm not using this one and it can go, versus I'm not using this one but I will just infinitely hold on to it because I just feel like it's gonna have its moment. And that's where this one kind of sits for me. So that's the Barbara Walker. But I feel like maybe I will just kind of let it sit in that purgatory, because then at least that's almost like a forced going back to it every once in a while. That's my thoughts on that. Next up, we've got the... Oh, what are you called? It's the animal... I keep thinking Animals Divine, but that's not it. Hmm. What is this called? What is this called? I'm actually gonna have to go look. Hold on. Animal Wise. This is the Animal Wise Tarot, and this one also, unfortunately, is out of print. Oh, I really enjoy it. It's not one I use tons and tons. And if I do, I kind of use it like an oracle. Because personally, when sometimes tarots that single out one animal for one card, pulling just like a bunch of animals feels overwhelming to me, where it makes more sense in my head to be focusing on one. I don't know. But like I don't feel that way if there's more stuff going on in the card, like the Animal Botanical and the Forager's Daughter, where it does single out an animal, but then there's also like bugs and plants. That's not just the focus, where this one, like, this animal is the focus. So I tend to use it more in an oracle type way, but I love the guidebook. I love the bottom messages. That's the other thing. It's got this bottom message that makes it really good for oracle use. And I just love the real picture in the center. It feels a little just cheesy, and there is something that brings me so much joy about that. Look at our chickadee. Actually, this would be fun. The coloring would fit this time of year. That would be fun to use. Ooh, I'm gonna have to keep this out. I think that'd be really fun. So, that is the Animal Wise Tarot. And I love the bag I got to match it too. I just think it fits. It fits it nicely. Okay, that's another one. Making a pile of things to keep out. Okay. This is the Witchling Academy Tarot. This one's so fun. This is one that I feel like most of the time, first of all, it's edged in pink. Yes, that's why the bag is pink. I find this one to just be really fun to sit and shuffle. I don't know why, but if I'm ever gonna sit and just shuffle a deck, I always go for this one. And most of the time I'm doing that while watching cartoons, or this is one I will always bring with me if I'm playing video games. It just has that feel to it. So it's not often that I really sit and do a reading with this one, but it just is my like video game cartoon watching deck. Because I don't know about you all, but whenever I'm doing activities like that, even if I don't touch it, I'm like, well, ooh, I should just bring a deck over to another room. Because all my decks stay in one room for the most part. So I will like pick one as if it's like we're going on a field trip. And so this one comes out a lot just to like sit next to me while I'm doing the aforementioned things. And I love it. I love it for that. I love the pink edging. I think it came to me that way. I got this one used and it came to me edged in pink. And I remember the person saying like, oh, like, is that okay? I'm like, are you kidding? Like, you're a genius. Of course it's okay. Pink is always okay. So I love this one. That is the Witchling Academy Tarot. Alright, next is the Mystic Fairy Tarot, and this, I don't know, I'm not sure about it. This is the, not like the big box version. I do love this clamshell box though, and I feel like something about that almost is why I've held on to it. I don't know. I do like the backs, and it's a beautiful deck. It really is. I do think I would probably benefit, I'm gonna guess, from the big book, which my friend Rachel did bring to work to leave in our tarot baskets, so I have access to it. Look how pretty that is. But something about this one feels very similar to me to the Victorian Fairy Tarot. And if it's a choice between those two, I am always going to choose the Victorian Fairy Tarot. So even though, like, I like this, and on paper, like, this is definitely one that I would gravitate towards. I think it's just a case of I have something else that kind of feels the same, and I don't imagine myself, I think it would be a forced choice to use this deck, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think I'm just liking it because it's pretty artwork, which is totally valid, and obviously, I mean, I've already shown decks where it's like, I just like the art, so that's why I'm keeping it, but I don't really feel that kind of way about this, so I think this one is going to go into that think about it, I gotta think about it, pile. Mystic Fairy Tarot, but it is beautiful. And maybe I will take a look at that guidebook at work. And she brought her cards there too. So that's the thing too, is that like I have access to a copy of that if I so choose. Because it's in our work deck bin. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, speaking of Victorian Fairy Tarot, here she is. So I think you'll see, maybe it's good looking at it back to back for me too, that they have a similar feel because they're both kind of like yellowy in tone, using like bright pastels. Oh my gosh, that's my timer. My oats are ready. Okay, I'm back. Just had to get that out of the oven anyway. They both have just a very yellow kind of base tone, these bright pastels. But I just like this one better. I do. Yeah, okay, now that I'm seeing this right after that, I'm like, they do have a very similar feel to me personally, and I have such a connection with this one that it's almost like I wouldn't want to take away from this one, because I love this one so much. But the other one, not to say, it does have different features. I do think it's cool that each suit follows the story of specific fairies. I do think that's really cool. So I do think there is potential for people to love both, love that one better. So not to say that, but for me personally, this is the one. Yeah, look how pretty. Oh, I love this one. Okay. So that is the Victorian Fairy Tarot, which is right now out of print, and I put it in this category because this is a mass market copy, but it is coming out indie. There was a Kickstarter that I'm so excited about. I backed it to get the indie copy. And I mean, I would guess it'll be for sale. I don't know, but hopefully, because that would mean it's not out of print anymore, which would make me so happy, because I love this deck so much. Alright, next we have the Tarot of the Moon Garden, which a friend sent to me because one of their friends' moms or something, I don't know, they were like, had these old decks that they were just kind of giving away, and they saw this and thought of me because of all the fantasy themes going on here, and I do really love it for that. Oh, it has like and it just has this good smell to it. So whoever used it clearly used it a lot, because it has that nice worn-in feeling, and they must have used some sort of spray or oil with it. It smells so good. But if I'm being real, this is not, I don't use this. I really don't. There's something about it that when I'm reading with it, it doesn't do it for me. And it has this fairy tale-esque feel to it that I think what it compares to in my brain is the Forest of Enchantment, and there's just no chance that I would really choose anything over Forest of Enchantment. So this one I just kind of keep around because, funny enough, so I had a copy of this deck that it was like I was doing a trade with someone and they just kind of threw it in as an extra. Then I ended up giving that one away because I was like, don't really love this. And then my friend sent this to me being like, oh my gosh, like I just got this deck someone was just getting rid of, and like for you because it reminds me of you so much. And it was so funny. It came back in this, because again, another reason I know it was very used is because the tuck box was like destroyed. I ended up putting it in this beautiful bag Sandy made, because the tuck box was nearly not even usable anymore. And so I think it was Andy made the joke of like, I think you just need to keep it because it's gonna keep coming back to you like in a worse and worse state. But I also do love that like someone saw this and was like, ah yes, Krista would love this, because I love the artwork. And I also think it's one that will come around, similar to the Barbara Walker. I think it's gonna have its moment with me. It's just not right now, and that's okay. But clearly I must like it to some degree, because I put it in this gorgeous bag, which, I mean, a sandy bag I reserve for very special things. It has a special feel to it, and it almost feels like it clearly was so loved by the past owner that I'm like, I need to take good care of it, you know? I don't know. So, Terror of the Moon Garden. That one is just, there's no purgatory for this one. It just is sticking around. I don't know why, but it is. Okay. Then we've got the Herb Crafters. A longtime favorite. I mean, it's just, can we all agree it's just the greatest? I love this deck. It has such a warm, inviting feeling. I feel like I really get, oh, look at that. That's cool. I'll have to look at that. I never really think that, I mean, there is a lot to do with all different seasons in this deck. I never think maybe I should seasonally go through this and check out what aligns where, because most of the time if I'm reading with this deck, it's in the spring, mostly summer. But I do like kind of just using it a little bit as a reference guide as well, as far as like, oh, what did they relate to certain tarot cards? Because I think that's interesting. But I love the artwork on this. I really love everything about it. I think it's really, really fun, and I loved seeing like which herbs and plants I was growing in my own garden this year. A favorite. And look at the backs. I mean, it's so gorgeous. Herb Crafters Tarot. Love that one. Next is the Halloween Tarot. This is the full size. I do also have the pocket edition, which I should say, I did spell out at least some of the collection videos I'm doing, in that there's going to be, you know, mass market, indie, tarot and oracle, but then I'm also going to do a separate video for my mini decks, and then the final video will be like my quote-unquote special collections, because I do have certain decks kind of all together on different shelves, because they make up their own mini collection to me. So I thought it'd be fun to look at those separately, since I keep them separate and like with each other. So anyway, but I have both the full size and the tin. I use them both and love them both. But I mostly got the full size because I wanted the big guidebook. But I'm glad I did, because I really enjoy using, I find I use this deck more for my daily pulls if I have it in a full size, versus the tin was kind of something I brought around with me. But I mean, this is such a good mood tarot. Perfect for the Halloween season. I don't always use it really much outside of October, but I often will just take it out and flip through it, because I think the images are so fun. And what did I get recently that was this Kipling West? What did I see or get that was the same artist? Oh my gosh, the Tarot for Cats. Yes, Stevie's. That'll be in the special collections too, is Stevie's 2-deck collection. Anyway, it's a classic. I love it. The Halloween Tarot. Okay, next is the Mythic Tarot, which I haven't used at all. I think this was a case where I know this is the new Mythic Tarot, and I think I don't really know what exactly happened, but Andy was like ordered it from somewhere, and something happened where she ended up getting two, I think. So she sent me one, which was very, very nice. But I don't know that I have much interest in it. If I'm being honest, I don't know. I don't think this is one I will rehome. I think this is another one where it's gonna go in that slot with Barbara Walker and Tarot of the Moon Garden, where, you know, I might have an interest in this someday, and it's already here, so we might as well hold on to it, but in my brain this feels like it would, even though it's not the same mythology line, I feel like it would fit the same slot as the Legend of the Arthurian, and that's one I really, really want to spend some time with this year. So it could just be that it's not a Mythic Tarot year, or maybe it will be by the end. And I love that for the High Priestess, though. I don't know, but at the same time, I am getting a real interest in Greek mythology, so maybe. I don't think it's a right now deck, but gosh, I feel like I'm needing like some new little bins. I've got these different categories of like, okay, these definitely could be purgatory. These are ones I want to make sure I spend time with this year. And then these over here are like, not right now. I don't know. Because I feel like I should have a not right now section, because that's where this fits. But that is the Mythic Tarot, the new Mythic Tarot, whatever the heck they call it. I don't know. I'm gonna make that conscious pile though of like, not right now. Let's do that. I think that makes sense to me, because I see myself revisiting that in a different way if it's in a separate pile rather than in purgatory, but I don't mean it to be in there, you know? Anyway, the Vampire Tarot. This is my second go around with this guy, and I love it. I think I just wasn't ready for it the first time around. Honestly, the imagery, not to sound like a total weenie, but I had such a reaction to what was going on in the imagery that I couldn't. I couldn't use it. So I definitely rehomed that one. And then repurchased this copy this year. And no regrets. This is definitely a case of it had to go when it had to go. Because there's sometimes, like, the deck I was just talking about where it's like, it'll just hang out until maybe I come around to it, or maybe I just come around to a final decision about it. But then there are some where it's like, it needs to get out of my space. And this was one of those for some reason. It had to get out. But now it's back. And that's what the journey we had to take. And that's okay. Because now that it's back, I'm really loving it. I edged it in red. How cool. I definitely got that from Jess Reads Cards. So yeah, this is really, really fun to use, especially during the month of October. But I also think this one could make a comeback for January, because I just think it's fun. And now I really want to try it alongside the Gothic Tarot. I think that would be really, really cool. Yes, love that one. The Vampire Tarot. Next, we've got the Ghosts and Spirits. I love this one. This is probably one of my favorites that I get excited to take out once late September, October hits. But again, this is one I kind of carry through the dark half of the year, because I think the colors really fit, and it fits that dark fairy tale. But I think it's just so fantastic. The Little White Book is so good and very worthwhile getting into because all of these cards have their own story. And this is one I tend to just pull one card at a time because it just feels like there's so much going on with each of these ghosts and their stories that, I don't know, I really like spending time with just one card at a time. But yes, a favorite. I love this one. Ghosts and Spirits Tarot. Okay, this one is, oh, it's the Raven's Prophecy. This one's cool. I haven't spent too much time with this one either, and that's another, this is another deck that I really want to spend some intentional time with. Because the readings I have done have been very much like, oh, whoa. That was creepy and spot on. And intense. It feels like a very intense type of deck. But the artwork, it really is not my usual thing. But I really enjoy it. I really like pairing this deck with the Fallen Angel Oracle. It's worked really well for me with that, but I really, again, want to spend some intentional time with this deck. Try some other pairings, and just really get to know it. So this is definitely going in that let's spend some time together pile I have going as well. So that is the Raven's Prophecy. Ooh! Next is Tarot of the Witch's Garden. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So good, so good. This one was so anticipated as well, and it just did not disappoint. There was the little snafu with the cards getting mixed up that they completely, Llewellyn did such a good job fixing that. I did not personally do the correction just because it doesn't really bother me. But if you have one of the first sets of it where I think it's the Wheel and Justice are mixed up, they've just been sending out entirely new decks, and I think that's so great and just, I don't know, feels really above and beyond, which is awesome. So if that is something, because I totally would understand that really messing with how some people read. But I bought this one knowing there was going to be the error, because I just couldn't wait. I was so excited, and I just knew it really, that kind of thing doesn't bother me, because I don't pay that much attention to, like, the number written on the card, per se. It's just not really something that I utilize, so. But I love this one. It's fantastic. Everything about it is great. It didn't disappoint. So, Tarot of the Witch's Garden. Come on, get in your bag. Another just cute bag match. Look at the little ferns and ladybugs. So cute. These button bags are from Divine Noctiva on Etsy. Any other? And then, I mean, we all know the drawstring. The black drawstring bags, of course, are Peggy bags. I don't know what other. The zipper bags I'm showing, Sunset Bow. We all know those two. Anyways, continuing on. The Midnight Magic Tarot. This one is beautiful. It really is beautiful. This one feels very much like a Summer Nights. I cannot say Summer Nights without Grease immediately in my brain. But this one really slots in as like a summer nighttime deck, but it's so beautiful. And I really love what the creator's done with the artwork. It feels very intentional. Like, it's taking the subject of mushrooms and making it so intentional yet visually expansive, I think is really, really neat. So I really enjoy this one. I actually think this would be cool to pair with the Intuitive Night Goddess, now that I think about it. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I really like this one. Look how pretty that is. So that is the Midnight Magic Tarot. A solid mushroom deck. Alright, this is the Gaian Tarot, but this is the old Llewellyn printing, but there is the Schiffer printing still available right now. And this is a real summertime favorite for me. I don't really know, I think it's the colors that has just put it in that time of year for me. But I do think there's a lot of, well, no, see, then that's pretty wintry. There's something about it that just feels summery to me, but I love this deck. I think this is probably my favorite card. Look at the little otter, like, hello. You rang? Oh, look at that, so pretty. This is another one, I could just look at the artwork all day long. And same artist, Joanna Powell Colbert, artist and creator. Question mark? I think so. As the herb crafters, so pairing them together is so magical. I really feel like they pair up together so well. I don't typically use decks by the same creator together. It just depends, but those two together are just magical. I really love this deck. Oh my gosh, I kind of want to keep this one out now too. It doesn't really fit this seasonal vibe, but I just love it. I just love it. So, that is the Gaian Tarot. Next, we've got the Crysalis Tarot. Another just gorgeous deck. I really love this one. There's also a lot of story built into this one. Could this be... Wait, does this fit the vibe of now? I kind of slotted it into summer because the colors are so bright, but hold the phone. Could this be kind of Christmassy? I think it could. I think I'm going to keep this one out. I really love this one. The guidebook is so good. The stories told in it. We get the perspective of both the deck creator and the artist. And I love when decks do that. When there's separate people writing the guidebook versus making the art. Give me that artist note, baby. I want to see. Even if it is the same, and you just want to tell me your intention, I'd love to know. Always. Tell me more. Always tell me more. It's my thoughts. Maybe. Not always. But a lot of the times. This one stalks me, this card. But I love this one. It's gorgeous. And we're keeping this one out. Yay! How exciting. Crysalis Tarot. I love using... This is one I just get excited to use. Okay. The Pulp Girls Tarot. Now, I don't know if this is technically mass market. I think it is, but you can buy it on Amazon, so I'm just thinking yes. But this one's cute. I edged it in this bright purple to match the backs. This one is just a fun, cute deck. It is completely an RWS clone, but it's very, and completely also feminine presenting figures. But within that, I think there's a really good effort made with cultural diversity as well as body diversity. Not really age, it's very much a young feeling deck. Is there good body diversity in this? Am I making that up? Am I misremembering that? Because sometimes I mix this one up with the one we're going to show next, actually. How do we feel about... I mean... It's... Maybe I take... it's like... It's alright. It's okay. Okay. There is some good cultural diversity in here. I think the body diversity, I don't think it's like not there, but, you know, anyway. Besides the point, I'm gonna shut my big mouth now. But I really like this one. I love the coloring of it. The black border on it I think is so fun. It has almost this like comic books feel to me. And I just really like it. I really like it. This was pretty much my functioning, like, real exact, or as exact as I had RWS clone. But now I do have an RWS, which I don't think I even brought over here, but should be in this video, so we're gonna have to grab that eventually. But I really like this one. It's fun. Pulp Girls Tarot. Definitely has a young feel to it, I will say. Okay, this is that French titled deck that we all are unsure of what the, like, translation is. I like Strange Antlers. I don't know, I just like the idea of that. But this is mass market, just in France. So everything is in French, but I mean... These images are so beautiful. The cardstock is pretty unwieldy, but I do love this one whenever I use it. I haven't used it tons. But I think a goal of mine, this is definitely a spring, summer deck for me. I do really want to utilize this one more than I did this past year because I do think there's something really special about it. Look at that foxglove, it's so pretty. I love the colors in it. The bright greens are just the best. And usually with the guidebook, I just use the Google Translate app to just scan the image of the page to translate it just immediately on my phone, which is nice. So pretty, it's so pretty. So, that is the Strange Antlers Tarot. Okay. Oh, we didn't look at the one I said we were going to look at next. This is what I was talking about. I get that the Pulp Girls mixed up with the Queer Tarot, which does a fantastic job, I feel, with diversity just all around. If I could get it open. It's like a really nice tuck box. I mean, the pink, oh my gosh. I edged it in orange, because orange is one of my favorite colors. And this deck just makes me, oh, it makes me so happy. Even as the camera is not doing the colors justice, but this is so fantastic. It's so good. It's so good. Another RWS clone. No, this one feels different to the Pulp Girls, and I do feel, I feel like the Pulp Girls is one I really like using for myself, because it's just something, like, I can see myself in that deck a little bit more. I don't know how long that'll last, but, and this is one I tend to really like using for other people because I feel like this is a deck that everyone can see themselves in, you know? So that's, I feel like they do both have a place. Because I don't think I would really use the Pulp Girls Tarot for other people because I think it just has a very specific feel to it. But this one feels so just amazing and universal. At least, like, amongst my pals, you know? Because I know all my friends I've shown this to, they love it. Because it's so good. And the colors are just, oh, it's so fun. Like, how could this not bring a smile to your face? It's so good. So, that is the Queer Tarot. Oh, okay, we've got a few more. And then we are done with the mass market tarot, unless they're in another category I said before. This is the tarot in Wonderland. This one Andy gifted to me because I was interested in having an Alice deck, and she already had, or she has like her Alice deck. She has the Baba Studios one. So she gifted this one to me to try, and I love it so much. I love it so much. It is so fantastic. I've spent so much time with this deck in the last few months I've had it. I pair it a lot with these story cards I have that will appear in the Oracle section. But this is a deck that really has specifically slotted into readings around neurodivergence for me. Because when you think about the story of Alice, I think it is a story that is relatable to anyone who has kind of felt different in any which way. But also I think a lot of the stories really, you know, at least like in the lens I would be reading with it now, I find that it feels like it pulls on a lot of neurodivergent characteristics, common traits, habits, things of that sort. So there's always something in here where I'm like, oh my gosh, like, it's talking about something I've been like wondering about, or something I've noticed I do, like all these things. It's helping me work through a lot of just newness. And I really appreciate it for that. It's so good. So that is the Tarot in Wonderland. Okay, next is another French Amazon find, I think French, question mark. It is the Tarot Celtics, and I don't know if this one is like something that you can currently get. I don't know. It might be out of print. Unclear. It's just kind of hard for me to tell, but this was one I saw on Johnny Catamancy's channel, and it was an immediate like click buy because the imagery is so good. It's completely follows its own tarot system though. It's really not a tarot. I want to say it pulls on a lot of Celtic mythology though, which also is what interested me. But there's, I want to say 4 suits, and they follow the OM alphabet a bit. It's hard to tell because the guidebook, of course, is in French, so I'm trying to slowly work through that. It's not been super easy. Oh, we're just fully upside down now. But it's broken up into seasons and, like, I don't know. But I am planning on doing a bit of a casual OM study this coming year. And so I think this is going to be really cool to use alongside that to like also be figuring this out, because I can see that there's OM alphabet showing up. So I think to just kind of examine this at the same time will be really helpful on both fronts. So that is Tarot Celtics. All right. Tarot of the Abyss. This is one of very few black and white decks I have, but it's one that I think because the artwork is so busy, it doesn't really feel like a black and white deck, you know? Because there's so many different shades going on and so much to look at that it doesn't feel black and white. And I almost think, because I've seen some of Anatorian's other decks where they're done in color, and I think that almost feels overwhelming to me. But I haven't used this one too much. So I don't know it super well yet, but I know that I liked it when I used it. So this is one I need to spend some more time with. And I'm thinking this will be cool to bring out in January. If I had to label it right now, I'm saying it's like a January and March deck for some reason. I don't know. But it seems really cool, and I'm excited to get to know it better. It's a newer one for me. But it's neat. Tarot of the Abyss. Alright, we've got 3 more. We can do it. The Good Tarot. I love this one. I know this gets a rap for being like completely lightwashed, but I don't know if I agree with that sentiment. I do see where that like, yes, I get it. I see it. You know, but I feel like the experience I've had with this deck, it's more so that it's telling me something positive on paper, but it's always calling me out for something I need to work on. So like, if it's a message all about self-love that seems like really light, it comes up for me in a reading when, as a call out of, hey, you have not been doing that at all. I don't know if that's making any sense there. But somehow this deck hasn't really hit in that. And it's not a harsh deck. You know, I'm not going to say go that far. But I don't know if I would label this one as like light washed. I think it's good. I like it. I like this one. And I think a lot of it is the backs. The backs make me really happy. For some odd reason, I just like it. So, the Good Tarot. Ooh, which one do I want to save for last? Oh, I know. Okay, next we're going to do the Witch's Wisdom Tarot. And I know, didn't we all see? The new one came out. I think we all just assumed that the cards were going to be smaller because it was a standard edition. No. It's just that the box fits the cards. Oh, how disappointing. I was really hoping too that it'd be like at least even a thinner cardstock, because I'm not bothered by the size of the cards. If they were thinner though, I could shuffle them. So easy, that'd be so cool. But regardless, I like this deck a lot anyway. I've gotten really, really good readings from it. I love the mixture of people and animals and how the people are kind of brought into the world built here. Oh, how gorgeous is that? It's gorgeous artwork. I really, really do love this deck. I really like pairing it. Oh my gosh. How good. I love pairing it with the Wildwood Tarot. Any deck I have that is illustrated by Will Worthington, I find that Danielle Barlow's artwork in this just pairs well with Will Worthington's art as well. And I love to me it's got a very Celtic feel, and I always love a deck that leans that way. I think it's fantastic. I do love this deck. So, that is the Witch's Wisdom Tarot. Oh no, this is not the last one. Okay, this is the last one I have here, and then I gotta get my new one. Duh. Okay, Tarot of Mystical Moments. Oh, what a good one. What a good deck. I love this one. This one has a very kind of airy feel to me. When I say things are like a January, February deck, it's because they have this certain, like, chill factor, and not in, like, it's certainly not scary, but I think the colors used and the atmosphere, I just feel like if I was in any of these images, there'd be like a chill in the air. It'd feel kind of cold. And not in a bad way where it's lacking feeling, just that's the feeling I get. And so I know this one's coming back around. I love using this one in the real depths of winter, because it also is a reminder of just the magic of the season. Light is returning. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's so gorgeous. I could look at these pictures all day long. So pretty. I know Sandy has done some amazing pairings with this deck, and now I'm kind of like, I need to go back and stalk her Instagram to remember what those are. So, Tarot of Mystical Moments, and we're going to pause and get my last deck that I was talking about. Okay. I officially have an RWS, like an OG RWS. Are you all excited? I'm excited. I got the Albino Weight Tarot because the coloring on this, oh my gosh. First of all, I love the backs. Just this white with the gold sun. So good. But the colors on this deck are amazing. The oranges and the greens going on in the pentacle suit. Oh my gosh. I had the Centennial for a hot second out of curiosity, but I don't even think it was not even more than a month that I ended up gifting it to a friend who was interested in learning tarot. And so I was like, well, I'm not really that interested in examining this anyway. And like, that's, you know, a good one to learn off of. And then, but other than that, I have not had an RWS. So finally, I'm just feeling like it's time, because I'm feeling a genuine interest in learning what's going on with the OG images. Because of course, you know, like, I know the symbols in my brain and from seeing pictures or having clones, but I just had an interest in having an RWS, and wow. I love this one. I mean, and the Centennial was really good too, but I feel like something about it didn't make me excited. And this one really feels like something I'm excited to use, which is so cool. Oh, like, I just want to keep looking at it. I really love, and again, look at that green. Oh, it makes me so happy. I really love it. And the cardstock on this is, like, really good. Who prints this? It's US Games, but it's not like any other US Games I have personally felt. I don't know. But it's really, really good. Look at the pink. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited about it. So, that is my last deck I have to show you today. And next time, my friends, we'll be moving on to the indie tarot decks. So exciting. So, other than that, I hope you're all having a wonderful week, and I'll see you again very soon.